Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort? While our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Amazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depends on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop.
Good evening, fellow Amazonians, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Momo County. Afono, Aye, I wish I can talk all the different dialects in the different villages or from the different villages of Momo. This is a very special day. It is Momo County. It's the county every Amazonian has been anticipating. We're calling the draft of today the game changer draft. And why? Is it because Momo is less or more important than any other county? No, it's because Amazonia as a people, they understand their strengths, they understand their powers. We know that Bui, Ngokitunja are fighting. We know that Mezam is a powerhouse in Amazonia when it comes to resource mobilization. And today, Resource Mobilization Department has sent out this message, and their hope, Nijo himself, that's the Secretary of State for Resource Mobilization, said it himself, that Momo can help us hit the $1 million mark. Now, to clarify the confusion, I'm not saying that Momo is going to be drafting $1 million US, but why not? Because the county coordinator of Momo's fate is getting right close to $1 million. We are saying that Amazonia as a people have drafted close to 700,000 US. We're thinking that tonight Momo is going to hit that mark of $1 million US with in addition, and why not surpass it? So we're counting a lot of Momo. I have some Momo officials that are locked in. Why I'm looking forward to ensure that all of them, Ma Rachel, for those of you who are the lovers of the horizon, Matsima, she's already locked in. We have Nisam Mbuta, he's already here. We have Brother Clement, he's already here. Why? We have at least 6 officials from Momo County here this evening to enhance the pre-draft show. But before we even get into the pre-draft show, we want to make sure that we have a recap of some of the stories of the week and some of the things that are even happening today. We need to have a recap of some of the stories of the week and the things that are happening today. Everything that has happened along the week, the UN General Assembly, you saw the things that were happening today, the fighters in in Bafoot. That's the seven kata and the great things they have done. It's getting draftees excited and people. So we want to refresh your minds on some of these things. And right after that, we'll get into the discussion. Without any waste of your time, I'm going to be ushering in the Undaunted crew to come with that recap.
Hello, today is another Saturday to draft. Today we draft for Momo County. But before you get the recap today, we have some juicy information about some touristic places that you need to know and some very vital information you need to know about the Momo County. Now, the question is, what do you need to know about Momo County? Momo County is a county in the Midland state of Amazonia. The county covers an area of about 1,792 kilometers square and has a total population stated conservatively as 250,000. Mbengui is the seat of the county's government. The county is administered through 5 local government areas, namely Nji, Batibo, Mbengui, Widikum, and Njikwa rather. Momo County is composed mostly of Widikum ethnic group. Widikum ethnicity is one of the largest in Amazonia, covering Momo, parts of Mazam as well. Some natural resources that are found in Momo County are palm oil. Now, arguably, the most potent natural product of Momo is palm oil. Although the county boasts no palm plantation of the caliber present in the fertile zone of the foot of Mount Fakol, there is an abundance of wild groves of oil palm trees that supply substantial portion of palm oil consumed in the center Midland zone of America. Also, kola nuts, not just palm oil, but kola nuts as well. Now, this is also one of the leading cash crops produced in Momo County. However, most of the farm's output is locally consumed food crops, grains, and tubers. Some of which are sold on the weekly tad market to merchandise from urban cities like Bamenda.
All right, now let's look at hydroelectricity. Momo County has a lot of hydroelectricity. The area has a huge hydroelectricity potential afforded by the Abbey Falls in Mbengui. Several other projects exist to generate electricity, but unfortunately have encountered severe and often insurmountable problems of political will, as witnessed by the incomplete dam that runs along Bamenda Mbengui Road at the fording point on the Abbey River. Coffee and cocoa, these are also some of the principal agricultural products originating from Momo County. You should note that it is important to highlight that this is the county of Dikin Tasang Wilfred, who is currently languishing in dungeons of Yaoundé Kondegi prison for opting to stand up for his people. Dikin Tasang Wilfred was the president of Cameroon's Teachers Trade Union and was the leader when the teachers' protest began in 2016. As the people of Momo get into the draft room today, they remember the betrayal of Solomon Tandeg Muna, a son from Njin Mbu, Menomo local government area of Momo County. The Muna's family until this date is being instrumentalized by the colonial government against their own people. It's time for us to bring you the recap from the week, but just after this break.
restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Or we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not founded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Amazonia die as a wish because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The War Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop. Yes, we'll say again, welcome to another great week to draft. Today, of course, we draft for Momo. But before we get there, we have the recap right here. I am Oni of Balance. The Smart is here as always. Good evening, Steph.
Yeah, good evening, Onyi, and good evening, Ambazonians in the home front and in the diaspora. Indeed, it is another day to draft, and of course, we have the recap for you just before the pre-draft show. This week, we talked about the flood that has been one recurring crisis in Amazonia due to poor town planning by a corrupt administration. And on Monday, however, we reported the case of another flood in Mile 3, Mile 4, Bamenda, this time caused as a result of an enterprise that was authorized by the administration to reclaim a zone that had a stream with a well-opened passage that has all the while been keeping the flood away. Now, here is a video we played on Monday of this flood that obstructed movement again along the Bamenda Bambui Road, precisely at the bridge linking the Mile 3 and Mile 4 in Bamenda 3 local government area. We have a video for you about this. Now, the innovative aspect of this crisis as it concerns transportation was having ready boys on the bridge carry stranded people shoulder high across the flooded bridge for 500 francs CFA and some 300 francs CFA, as it was too flooded for bikes to drive on, while some others had to wait for the flood to subside before going to their various destinations.
Now, on to another story from Monday. A communique was sent by the Catholic bishops of the Bamenda Ecclesiastical Province after alleged gunmen set a Catholic church on fire and kidnapped 5 priests, 1 religious sister, and 2 lay people in Mamfe local government area. An incident that happened on the 16th of September 2022 at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Nchang, Mamfe Diocese, Manu County. Now, in the communique, the bishop said that they strongly condemn all the attacks against the church and her ministers and appeal to those who have taken the priests, the nuns, and the Christians in Nchang to release them without any further delay. Now, Gab Ellison has the full report on this particular incident. Now, let's see what it says.
The Amber World Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft. Mr. Benga, go to paper two, scroll down to paper two. Yes, yes, yes. Go to paper two. Paper two. Remember the video. The paper two. The video is that one that they were um they were burnt people. Hmm? Until we drop. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort while our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Amazonia die as a wish because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop. Oh yeah, let's go. Yes, let's go. All right, we have this report here by Banji, and it says Bali Yonga under threat from Cho Ayaba. And it says Bali Yonga will not be a staging ground on the transit point for Cho Ayaba and his ADF kidnapping gang. The Buffaloes of Bali Yonga recently intercepted a regiment of ADF fighters after they had killed an old man who traveled from Yaoundé for the burial of a relative. The Buffaloes of Balionga did a gesture worthy of praise as they fed the old man from the ADF's kidnapping gang sent by the notorious ADF kingpin and warlord called General Efang or Big Number. Now, it must be noted that this is not the first time that the notorious ADF warlord and his ADF kidnappers have been using Bali Younger as a transit and staging ground for their kidnapping for ransom activities. It is therefore very troubling and nerve-wracking that Choayaba to issue an ultimatum to the buffaloes of Balionga under their Supreme Commander Grandpa in the wake of the recent kidnapping, demanding the release of the captured ADF kidnapping gang.
Now, many, including members of the Baliyonga local government area executive, would have thought that Choayaba and his organization should reach out to stakeholders on the ground to negotiate the release of the ADF kidnappers after admitting their wrongdoings. The Baliyonga local government area, despite differences, stand in solidarity with the buffaloes of Baliyonga and fully support their actions in liberating the kidnapped old man from the claws of the ADF gang. The Baliyonga local government area further reiterates that Baliyonga will not be used by ADF as a transit and staging ground for their lucrative kidnapping activities. They say enough is enough with the kidnappings. Now, in the wake of the recent threats and the ultimatum issued by Cho Ayaba to the buffaloes of Bali after the recent kidnapping, the Baliyonga local government area is hereby sending a sound warning to Cho Ayaba and his kingpin, General Efang Big Number, as follows. 1. That Baliyonga will not be subjugated to any threat or an ultimatum coming from Choayaba and his kingpins. Any such threats will not be taken lightly by the Baliyonga community, both at home and abroad. 2. The kingdom of Baliyonga and its people will not be intimidated by Cho Ayaba and his likes under no circumstances. Any attempt by Cho Ayaba and his minions to bring discord between the freedom fighters in Bali will be ferociously dealt with by all means possible. Now 3. Any attempts by Cho Ayaba and his kingpin, General Efang, to attack the buffaloes of Baliyonga or any ARFs unit in Baliyonga will be suicidal, and the consequences of such an endeavor will be far-reaching.
All right, the fourth word, Baliyonga has never played for second place and will not take lightly any provocations from Cho Ayaba and his gang. The Baliyonga local government area is hereby sounding a warning to any ADF sympathizers in Bali and surroundings to desist from doing business with the ADF with immediate effect, without which you will be blacklisted as an enemy to the land and facing consequences as required. The fifth one, the recent threat from Cho Ayaba and Big Number, is a rally call for all people in Baliyonga to live under threat of intimidation from any neighborhood village, ADF camp, or legion. Now, in conclusion, the Baliyonga local government area is awaiting a merited apology from Cho Ayaba and Capo Daniel for being insightful in their reaction to the recent event in Bali and for undermining the people of Baliyonga by using their land to engage in illicit activities, including kidnappings for ransom. The Baliyonga local government area and the people of Baliyonga will always remain welcoming to anyone who treats them with respect, civility, and approbation. For one for all for one, we remain steadfast in our quest to free homeland Ambazonia. Now, this is signed by the chairman, Baliyonga local government area, Ba Nji. Now, that aside, we have this video from Food ARFs today, which is the 24th of September 2022. And of course, they are saying special thanks to Dr. Sako for the support. It's something that you would really love to see. Let's see this video from Food ARFs today.
It's not this one. That video that you were playing that I was saying you should remove is that one. You have not called it against.
draft toward 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort? While our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government?
Alright, we have this breaking news. French Cameroon genocidal thugs are on the rampage again. Now we have this report coming into our studios from and Kemi Asho reports it. Star.
Well, the Guzang Awam soldiers burnt down dozens of houses. Most shocking is that some houses had some inhabitants still in it. Now, as you can see this video, these are the burnt houses. These barbaric monsters will never stop. This is why all sons and daughters of Momo in particular, and all Ambazonians in general must draft for your freedom. Ambazonia must be free. KA, and that stands for Kemi Ashu from her page.
All right, we also have this report from the Banso Baptist Hospital BBH, and it's also under attack. Well, Undaunted had to report this particular information. The Kumbo local government area says the La Republic du Cameroon terrorists entered the premises of the Banso Baptist Hospital BBA yesterday morning and arrested the hospital's primary doctor, Dr. Jean Sama, and 2 nurses by name Tia Relendis and Tiba Crane. The arrested are being accused of treating Amazonian fighters in the hospital and have ever since been kept incommunicado in their torture chamber. Now, this is another war crime act committed by La Republic du Cameroon against the BBH, who are still trying to recover from the illegal abduction of 2 civilians that were receiving treatment at the facility, only to be adopted at midnight from their sick birds.
Now, their fate and whereabouts remains a mystery, knowing the track record of abduct, kill, and dump used by La Republic du Cameroon on suspected Ambazonian supporters. Well, this incident is happening just as the population of the village of Bambri, accompanied by Reverend Father from you, buried an unidentified corpse at a La Republic du Cameroon illegal checkpoint where he was assassinated and dumped. This is from Bouyi County Security Team. Well, we'll stay tuned on this report.
All right, it's time for us to meet our representatives from Momo County. They've been waiting to have a thing or two to say about today's draft. All right, Mr. Tao, are you there?
Yes, thank you very much, the Undaunted ladies, for that brief recap there. I want to apologize to all our viewers. We've been facing a little bit of hitches, streaming from 2 different studios and trying to connect, but it's moving on well. For those of you watching on Facebook and on YouTube, I want you to share and to share very widely. Like I told you earlier on, Momo is a county Amazonia is depending on, so we can like to send a message in Yaoundé. The president said it very clearly that the draft of today will be a categoric message that will be communicated to the oppressors in Yaoundé. Without any waste of your time, I have with me in the studio Marakaye Itatima. I also have with me Brother Clement. I have with me Marcy. She has just connected, but I can't see her sitting down. I have with me Ni Sam Buta, who is also here, willing for us to start this discussion. It's been a while of waiting, and Marashe is already. I'm bringing her on the screen. You don't mind? She'll be definitely be talking because she's calling on a lot of people, making sure that they can do the mobilization. Good evening, Marashel, and welcome to this very important broadcast. Can you hear me? Okay, while we're waiting for her to handle all of that and get to start talking with us, I want you people to understand that Momo is a place that it's worth every Amazonian there. When you have people that are vibrant, you know what Comrade Ochiba Nelson does for the struggle as an activist. You know what a lot of them, the names are many, you can count them. There are many names. You know what all of these individuals they do for this struggle. And today is a day when Amazonians should rally behind their friends of Momo. You know, Mili Chingang is from Momo. All of them are from Momo, and I'm from Momo. You know, my mom is from Momo, but our culture says I go for the father's side. And it so happens that I saw my own flower harvest from a mom. So I'm bringing to you this wonderful lady. You all know her. I'm bringing her back on screen. She is the host of the voice of the Amazonian woman, the Horizon, Mara Share. And she's also an official of Momo County, of Njikwa to be precise. And she'll be here to talk to us. Good evening and welcome, Marasha.
Yeah, good evening, Director Padi. Thank you. Good evening. And
Avazi, na afazi, you talk on which one?
at the
Asiri.
talk.
Okay, just keep
Avoze,
fire for the one way you come.
enene,
Let me ensure that my
ngoy
CV is
chaman,
connected. Barrister Ghana
brajni.
Valentine and Nick Clement is connected. So as I'm trying to connect them, talk to the people because they're watching and listening to you right now.
Yes, greetings to you, people of Amazonia, people of Momo, and people of Jikwa in particular. I greet you all on this wonderful day where the children, sons, and daughters of Momo, those that have decided to draft with their lives, they have been doing so all through the year, defending homeland for you and I. And today is the day that we have decided to come and show them our gratitude. This is a program where our president, as I said yesterday on the horizon, thought it wise that you should choose your own people in your local government area and give them your money. You should align yourself with the defense of your local government area such that you will be able to know what has come in, what you need, and how much has been given to you. Through this means, we are informed, transparent, and accountability is sure. So today is the day for the people of Momo, friends and sympathizers of Momo, people of the other counties that Momo has graciously shown you love by contributing to you, that you all come out and play the Njangi for Momo's turn. Most especially you children of Njikwa, I will call you out. You happen to be the smallest LGA in the Momo County, where your villages, if you are on the Njikwa Solidarity, you just check the profile picture, it has been changed. You have, if you are from Bako, you are from Bakwa. If you are from Banya, you are from Basa. You are from Ekwebo, you are from Ikwere, you are from Konda, you are from Oshe, and you are from Gwo village. This concerns you people in the Jikwa LGA. Many of our brothers and sisters do not have where they can call home because the occupier has been occupying that land for over 60 years. 60 years. more than 60 years. And the time has come where the awareness and the realization of the people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, to which Momo County and Jikwa LGA is part of it. The war, you people remember what happened in Jikwa, how for in 2018, about 20 of our sons and daughters were gassed in a house where, according to them, they suspected that it was a forum, it was a house for Ambazonian Defense for Restoration Forces. By then, everyone was calling them Amber Boys. Everyone was suspicious. If you were just dressed in a dark shirt, they just took you that you were an Amber Boy. And it is something where many families have lost their sons and their daughters, because it is no longer whether you are a defender, whether you are a fighter. Nobody is innocent in front of these gruesome cannibals. I will even say call them this way because soaking and smoking life out of young men and women, you are just a cannibal. People will say
Thank you very much,
cannibalism is when
Marashel,
they
for
eat
that.
flesh. But
You're
yeah,
always very emotional when you bring it. You bring the real life stories to us. It's interesting. I want to officially announce to those of you watching us at the home front right now and watching on Facebook, YouTube, and on all of our platforms that the coordinator for the county of Momo is already connected. Is in our studios. He will be
yeah,
having a recap of everything we have to talk this evening. He has a full report. I know he's done a lot already to communicate via audios and different messages he has sent out. But it's few minutes into the draft. It's few minutes into Momo draft. It's few minutes when Amazonians in their hundreds and thousands globally will be meeting the president on the Zoom link to see reasons as to why they have to draft for this county. And we think the rightful person to give to us a report, what is at stake in Momo, is the county coordinator. So why I get back to you, Ma Rachel, and I get back to you,
mm,
Nisam, and all those who are already connected. Let's usher in the county coordinator, Barrister Valentine Gara. Good evening and welcome, sir. Thank you for joining this broadcast.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Paddy. Comrade,
yeah,
um, here,
I know.
yeah, no.
Okay. Yes, you are the coordinator for Momo County, and I must commend you for leading this county now for I think the second year and counting. It's a challenging thing when you have in the same county you have a Dr. Winnie Lobati, Professor Bridget Debo, Milichi Ngang, Marashe Itatima, Ma Aringwa, Comrade Ochiba Nursing. And we all know these are strong figures in our liberation movement. Uh, they are not only dedicated people, but it takes a lot of wisdom to bring cohesion in a county like this and have us anchor a show like this and have us anchor an evening like tonight's evening. What's happening in Momo? A lot of Amazonians would like to know exactly why they should be drafting for this great county.
Like you rightfully said, Momo is a bastion of a lot of great figures and great personalities. Momo is a harbinger of a lot of transformative personalities. I just heard you speaking to the beautiful Ma Rachel, not just beautiful, but intelligent and very forceful with her words and her opinions. She is symptomatic of the strength of the denizens of the Momo County. This county also seems to reside right at the heart of Ambazonia, and to traverse almost from one end of Ambazonia to another, you have to traverse through Momo County. Historically, Momo has always been there in the pot and in all what mixes as regards coming from the southern Cameroons into our ill-fated union or alleged union with La République, a union that actually never took place. But Momo has five LGAs: Menemo, Njikwa, Ngi, Widikum, and of course, Mogamo, where I come from. Another a nice facet about Momo is that the Trans-African Highway traverses this great county of ours. Momo is also a place of very hard-working people. It's the bread basket of the north of the northern zone, and you can also say it can be the bread basket of the whole of Central Africa. The people are hardworking, and they produce all kinds of both consumer and cash uh, crops, and they export a lot of produce, including wine, palm wine, to all parts of Central Africa. So this is really a very, very enterprising county that is very pivotal to this struggle. And again, we must not forget that the individual who kick-started this modern day revolution of Ambazonia, the revolution to decolonize Africa's last colony. Again, let me repeat that. The revolution to decolonize Africa's last colony from the fangs of France and its proxy, French Cameroon. This revolution was kick-started by somebody from this great county. His Royal Highness, the Fon of Widikum, Fogum Goji Dinka, who now lives in exile. A towering personality, a barrister at law, somebody who was head of the Cameroon Bar. And if you know anything about Widikum, Widikum is a paramount of the paramount fondoms in the Northwest. A lot of the whole Bafut, Meta, Bafuchu, Baba corridor, they trace their lineage right down to the Widikum. So this is where this revolution was kick-started. And why is this draft day very, very important? It's very simple, Paddy. Every time over the past 9 months or so that the G7 has met, they've met to talk about drafting for Ukraine. Ukraine is now under the onslaught of a brutal aggressor, and they are fighting back. They are fighting back to re-establish their independence. They are fighting to ensure that their sovereignty never gets compromised. So when the United States, Canada, Britain, France, Germany, Switzerland, Spain, Japan, all of these countries meet, they meet to draft. They meet to draft to ensure and to guarantee the freedom of a sovereign people. Who are us Ambazonians? Ambazonians are a sovereign people just like Ukrainians are. Ambazonians are a sovereign people just like the citizens of the United States are. Ambazonia is a sovereign people. There is a sovereign state consisting of sovereign people just like the people of Germany, of France, of England are. In the Banjul, in the case that has pitted La République du Cameroun, French Cameroon, against Ambazonia, that case is called La République du Cameroun v. Augustin et Ndangam. That was ruled in 2009. The highest court to have considered this matter, ruled that Ambazonians are a people with a right to self-determination, rooted in UN Resolution 1608, 1514 XV, and 1541. So why are we drafting? We are drafting just like the West is drafting for Ukraine, to guarantee that Ambazonians become free, to guarantee that we do not kick the can down and have our grandchildren or our great-grandchildren have to reconstitute this fight. Again, coming back to the county of Momo, you have to realize that some of the great fighters who kickstarted this fight came from this great county. General Ivor, a.k.a. Ivomba, Bie Tiger, a lot of them came from this great county. Momo is a county of very brave people. And so why are we drafting? We are drafting to rebuild the county. We are drafting to rebuild the forces. We are drafting to say there's a leadership that came out of the fourth conclave that passed down to Julius Ayuk Tabe and passed down to Dr. Samuel Sako, and any of the Coopers who have stood up to challenge this leadership, to betray the people of Ambazonia. We are drafting to say we have found out who they are. We are drafting to say they have attempted to destabilize Momo, but from the ashes of the truth, from the ashes of this great country, we are rebuilding the forces so that we will up the ante and maintain that possibility to eject French Cameroon from Ambazonia. So we are calling on all denizens of this county to reach down in your pocket. For it is self-evident that it is the sacrifice and the blood and the sweat of our restoration forces that are marching us down the path to independence in Boya. It is self-evident that over 90% of the fighting that is taking place on ground zero is happening by the interim government headed by Dr. Samuel Sako. It is self-evident that the best response against a brutal colonizer like La République du Cameroon is an armed people willing to shed their blood to guarantee their freedom. Just like Ukrainians are saying, not now, not ever to colonization from Russia. It is self-evident that we, Ambazonians, who are in the diaspora, are a nation unto ourselves. And we are the ones that we have been waiting for. We, Ambazonians who are in the diaspora, we are intellectually ambitious, geographically mobile, financially well endowed. If we don't stand up to contribute for our own liberation, who do we expect to contribute? It is self-evident that struggles like in Sudan, like in Eritrea, had some neighboring countries that were supporting them. When John Garang was leading the SPLA to fight against the government of Khartoum to guarantee the freedom of the people of Southern Sudan, Kenya was supporting them financially. Uganda was supporting them financially. Most of the East African nations were supporting them. In Ambazonia, so far, we've stood on our own, and we are fighting by ourselves. So all us Ambazonians who are in the diaspora, if you do not want to kick this can down to our great-grandchildren, it is time today to tune in and to dip into your pockets and to contribute towards this liberation. Before I conclude again, Comrade Paddy, I want to thank all the LGA leaders. Again, Ma Sylvia Nanji from Menemo, Ma Rachel from Njikwa, Mr. Samuel Mbuta from Ngi, Marco from Widikum, and all of the executives that function under them, sacrificing time, resources, putting their families under strain to ensure that we rebuild Momo into that potent force. I want to thank them for the work that they've done. And I want to specifically thank Mr. Samuel Mbuta, because a lot of what you will see today in this draft, he owes more credit for the organization even than the coordinator who is speaking right now. For he has been steadfast in that leadership to ensure that we have a successful draft, that the stewardship over the country is strong. Thank you.
Particularly received his call this week at least 10 times, trying to coordinate. He has been trying to coordinate those who are logging in from Monday until today for us to have an idea or a grips of what Momo County is. Like I said, it's very important. Amazonians, you have heard from yourself. This is the coordinator of Momo County. He was initially the county chair for Mogamo before he became a coordinator. He's not just a coordinator for Momo County. I understand he's a member of the Judiciary Commission of the interim government, an arm of a very vital arm of this interim government. Aside that, he's advising the government on many issues. He's part of those who wrote the legal or the petition, Amazonia's claim into the International Court of Justice. And he's doing so much. Aside that, he's a family man with a big family. I'm going to bring you back, Barrister Ghana. You've just mentioned Nisam Buta, and he has been waiting for some time. And I'd like us to get some updates from him and from his county, what exactly is happening. I'll get back to you and release you very soon. I know before the Treasury and Resource Mobilization starts frowning. I will make sure that I release you to them as soon as possible. If Professor Bridget Table and Pastor Victor Ba will be joining us when some of you would have left, because our system cannot take all the number we already have now. We have at least 6 officials plus our crew connected on our console. So I'm bringing them one after the other. As soon as I release you, you may be able to hand your codes for them to join us. But that notwithstanding, I can affirm that those already locked into the Zoom can watch us live. They're having good sound reception. I want to be back with the co-hosts to avoid unmuting people so that we don't interrupt this broadcast. We want to be quick with it. Without any waste of time, again, I would bring in Nisam and I ask you to just wait for a minute because I'll come back to you to give a conclusive statement before we ride on. Good evening, Nisam, and you're welcome.
Thank you, Paddy, and welcome to all televiewers for tonight's show. Before I get on, I want to thank Onye and Smart for being so knowledgeable about Momo. Honestly, we really applaud you for the knowledge or what you know about Momo. Thank you so much. But the only thing you left out was this must always come up place. Momo is the heartbeat of Ambazonia. Given our geographical location, we must always make this known to Ambazonians. A part of every other quality that we may possess, we are the heartbeat of Ambazonia. Before I say whatever I have to say, I will plead that I would want to make an appeal in my vernacular. And before I get to that, please join me for a moment of silence to two innocent ladies who were shot.
Who were killed, massacred.
Who were massacred 2 days ago.
Am I correct? In Gay Village.
Yes, indeed. So, just a moment of silence, which starts from now, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
May their souls rest in the bosom of our Lord. Thank you. I'm going to make my appeal in my vernacular language. There's nothing new about the LGA. Everything probably has been said before now. I'm going to make a special appeal in my vernacular language. And please bear with me. Wachakasunu nebungia kumumoku. Achomindane abuba momo. Chomindane draft. Awa tunga wanju fifin. Akasunu ngomago. Aka abazin ngomago kangoma bazai kangoma bazai. Kangoma nyongwa ene ngoma la republique. Awa tunga ya. Ngo chakwi. Bagera faifa una. Kasunu mbaba mokun. Bagera mbaba no dui bugun una. Kasunu belu mokun. Umbezinga bagirmi wirungwan songo ngo konikwi chaya ka no bet awa bubu niga gan ango contribution bagedo refugees no man Nigeria bagedo IDPs no uma all over wa no bugada sono no bere no maku zan anje ngo kango minna ngaki ngwi kangwe mana iman ada sono refugees maku iman ada sono mbo IDPs umakun kawam ottana manjim awa buginan den ingabon ba kme kaikwi umba ngomo be zuri be fana nanja be ki fana manam obu wamo ma ma yenu be du I kabagen jigen mi jiro nebo ma and then I forget that bad luck so bama ngakui umba por chama ngakui be on unambe on una no benje no si bon anje kenje ke benisa ngwana zo mo ngainan because ungwan ukigerman ngwa at heart ungwan maka manji tinga sinu no mama ko asin gon paago ichomogo in nore ngaki wa ngun una ndai ngu chomi chama protection uma na inga chama wa one a protection inga and chama wa mi koniki o be jure ya kanam o happen inga no mi masewwen to awa buga abu wanju fifi kimbe mba bumu buga kamun buma ba z kamun buma ba a ka ba b ka ba z ba ma bongia mba bumu buga if on no ni bongia jima na ya kainan um thank you televiewers for giving me this permission to express myself in my street dialect. There was need for me to get this message across to my people. So, well, the LGA is just one of the LGAs in Momo County, also enjoying the center position within the Momo setup, geographically. And it shares the boundaries with all the other 4 LGAs. That's the blessing we have.
Nisa, we're gonna come back to basically talk on this geography and history. What is of great importance right now is the mobilization of the resources. We gave a recap of the history and cultures and maybe some touristic sites in the entire Momo a few minutes ago. I'm sure you were following up, and I'm happy you really follow up and applauded the ladies for that great research. But this is what I want us to find out from Guy. I know coup plotters. There were some from Guy. It affected Guy. What has Guy done from then until now? Where are we? What are we hoping to achieve after tonight's draft? Please give us that structure and what you've done in mobilization. Yeah, the county coordinator that was just spoken to us a few minutes ago, his fate went up to about 800,000 US dollars, and I'm inspired with that. What is the fraction of Ngi? And
That,
what should we expect tonight? Go right ahead, please.
okay, thank you, Director. I'm glad you brought this very pertinent issue up. When it comes to the coup plotters, I want Ambazonians to know that um, a very huge chunk of those spearheading the coup plotters, what they call in Jangi group or whatever, call it any way you that suits you best. A huge chunk of them are from G. Now, it has been a very, very difficult task for us to still maintain our LGA because what you must know is that we have a rivalry LGA in G, in Menemo, and I think in Jikwa. So we are doing our best. We are standing our ground by talking to our people to see sense. And the good thing is, most of them who were brainwashed have realized themselves and are coming back uh, to build the LGA. So that's the
So
good
the
news
good
we
news
have.
is we have
Most,
people coming back. The good news if we have
sorry,
people coming back, those realizing them. The good news from what I'm
that
getting from you is that we have people coming back. The county is
that
restructuring, and there is a good atmosphere. So Ambazonians are hoping that as they giving their monies is not going to go into some confusion. That's the assurance that I expect us to give tonight. And you think that what should we be expecting that Ngi alone will be drafting tonight as a minimum?
Oh, we are doing our best. I can only project. My projections might not. Don't crucify me for my projections. I can only
I will.
project. Uh, by tonight, I can authoritatively say, even though it's a
Yes.
projection. I can authoritatively say we'll have close to 25 to 27 draftees. So
Okay,
don't
that is
crucify me for my projection, please.
that. Okay, that is from Gi alone. You're talking about Gi
That's from
LGA
the
alone.
alone.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I think that's inspiring because that's close to what certain counties have been able to come up with. It's not about comparing, it's about the fact that the entire nation of Amazonia sitting this evening is looking up to Momo County to make sure that we got the cutting razor, which is 1,000 US dollars. We're hoping that Momo will help us get it and hit the $1,000 before we get to the counties that are left, like Fako. Thank you. Just stay on. You're going to come back to give your last statement. But I'm going straight away to Brother Clement, who has been waiting here for some time. Good evening, Brother Clement, and welcome to this very important broadcast.
Good evening, Brother Paddy. It is
Yes,
such a
it's
great
about
honor.
what's happening in your LGA. Your LGA. Let's get to know you're obviously a strange face on this TV.
I know. Usually, I've been in the background.
And I
I'm
must
the
also
actor.
say that you're such a fine man. From what LGA are you coming from?
I'm actually the assistant to Mr. Samuel Buta. I'm the assistant of the LGA. We are all
Okay.
from the same LGA. Yes.
Now, do you want to add your faith? Perhaps you want to double the faith. He said at least 25 draftees. Uh, do you think you would want to double that? Or perhaps
from
are you retrogressing on
from
that? I don't expect you to
from what
retrogress anyway.
I think I could double that figure from what I'm reading from the group. There's one village alone that already pledged 10,000. One village. So
One village alone is already hitting
yes,
10,000.
10,000.
That's amazing.
So we are talking just from Gi alone. From the whole of Gi should be more than we should double what my chairman, Mr. Buta, just projected.
So you've brought in the youthful energy. No worry. I'm seeing you're just smiling at the background. Brother Clement is talking big here, and he's talking probably from a youthful energy, and most probably from the pocket. Yes, we are. I know as an official of the county, you should know what is happening on the ground. I just asked this question. I'll repeat the same question. So, from your vintage point of view, what should Amazonians be expecting after coming to draft a double of what Nate just mentioned earlier on? What should we be expecting? Because Amazonians, some are worried that we don't need to just sit back and see our mothers in Guinea slaughtered like what happened the other day with impunity. We need to, the purpose of tonight is to ensure that we enhance the boys and make them have enough sticks and granite. So, based on what you have on the ground, the mobilization you're doing on the ground and within the county, what should we be expecting after tonight's draft?
Uh, I will actually tell you that despite the odds that we've actually faced with some of our members that had to split and go somewhere else, but it's a good. The good news we're having is that they've seen the truth, and a bunch of them are coming back to be under Dr. Sacco, who is rightfully a genuine president. So we expect what I'm seeing is that the Ngi people are going to mobilize and do their best. And before we had all these factors, I know the figures we gave last time was I think more than 100 and something. But I'm praying that this time we're going to double our effort. We're not going to go. I'm not going to compare it to what we had last time because we're all under one umbrella. But I'm hoping that what my president just projected, we should be able to double that. That's the way I say it. With one village already giving, pledging 10 Gs, I'm hoping that other villages, including my own village, will be able to come with uh, probably 5 Gs as well. And then before you go to other villages, then we should be able to come with something reasonable. Considering the
I
fact
must
that, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, I must attest that your words are quite enticing, like the way you're looking this evening. But as far as Ma Irene is concerned, you have a fine to pay because you're not properly dressed. I just want to make that clear. Perhaps just you're not properly dressed. You are
I'll go get that
casual,
right away.
and it is unacceptable.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
I mean,
apologize, Fadi.
no, I'll come back to you. I want to. Why we are hoping somebody should indicate to Mars CV to get on her camera. I'm seeing her ceiling, and I'm not seeing her. And I'll be bringing back Mara Share, who is an authority from Jikwa. She definitely should come and give us facts and figures. She was talking many beautiful things like she would do when she's having Horizon. But tonight, Amazonians want to talk about facts and figures. They want to talk about money. I'm bringing you your beautiful smile again. I see you're already. We can't wait to hear from you, Mara. Share what is happening in Jikwa. You stop giving us that excuse. Jikwa is the smallest LGA in Momo. That is a flimsy excuse tonight. Amazonians are thinking that Jikwa could just be the David of Momo County. Talk to us, please. You're muted, very muted. What happened? I know you've been making calls. Unmute
Coming,
yourself.
I'm coming. Yeah, it is my wish, Director Padi, that Jikwa becomes or shows themselves as the David of tonight. You know, Jikwa, there are some facts. You say you want facts and figures. I really had to let us know that Jikwa is just the smallest one, but small not be sick. Now wait till that way with the talk. So for Jikwa people, then the thing I want to una say, if una see for that one Jikwa Solidarity Forum, how many people then they 180 people. And these 180 people, they're not the home front. None of them, they're not there for Africa. And none of them not the homeless for Saturday the day. You get inside there, you get medical doctors, you get senior nurses, side nurses, IT personnel, and all those good, positioned jobs here in the diaspora. If those 180 people could just turn around to say, God, we really want to have our homeland and we will support those who are drafting with their lives. Imagine waiting we only in Jikwa for the talk for here. That is not only those that decided to have their name on that form. We have thousands and thousands out there in the UK, in the USA. My appeal for una today, because I know say una dey hear this talk where the talks, because una mommy and una papa dem, they dey for home front where they dey watch the television and they dey surely tell una. I beg them yesterday, say make they tell una, ask una whether una like this suffer wey they dey really dey suffer so, if una really like am. Accountability na wetin wey the Njikwa people dey stand for. If you dey for that forum, you go see who don dey do something. We dey continue to appeal to una. Ma just take wetin wey Lee Clement talk. He say one village don already talk say they go draft 10,000. Okay, ma just say the 9 villages wey dey for Njikwa, if we be just get 10 people, 10 people wey dey come from each of those villages, because I know say that they and they capable. Just imagine Oshe, Ngwo, Konda, Ikwere, just these ones alone, they fit sponsor even the whole thing of Momo. If only 10 be just come out from this 9 village, we go get how much? 90,000. To wait to go pass, we will know if we use and push the enemy out. The assistant and director Padi, you say you want figures and you want facts. Okay, in front of me, I already see those we get for number. We reach about 15. Stay the way I know say they will do their job and they will conclude them. And many
That
where they
one
still talk say,
na pikin for Njikwa.
yes,
Na
na pikin
Jikwa.
there from Jikwa. Yes,
Okay, so
and
we
we dey still beg
person
them.
each person get families and friends where they go add. So if we say each person get that times three. So you
Na the
you you
thing
are
wey
you
me I dey
are
appeal. Na the thing wey I
Mhm.
dey appeal to them for here say make the Njikwa pikin dem make dem hear wetin we dey talk, because
Yeah.
plenty dem dey wey I don try to call them within this time. Say make dem
Hmm.
try join the train wey e go take we secure our homeland. And I dey still appeal to them through this program. Say I dey beg una make una come back home. Make una no remember the prodigal children out there wey we no fit go back for homeland and be part of this history. I no think say na only 15 or 20 people dem really dey for Njikwa wey dey wan really go back for homeland. I no think so. We are more than that. Many of us we are dying to go back home. Please, today is the day. Look at the number in the forum. I know many of us will say, I no want me, make dem too know me. They come behind. Look at them. Even some anonymous donors are already doing the job. So it is an appeal for each and every one of us, please, to join the train and free homeland. Because one thing is sure, homeland will be free. Be part of the history, part of the making. Is now. It's not, as they say, there's no salvation in the grave. It's the same thing. You will not come running after people have already written their history and you will say, I was part of it. Come and write your own name. You're part of your history. Come and be and tell your grand and great grandchildren the story so that your great grandchildren will say, my grandmother was there, my great grandfather was there. Look at today, people talking of the names that we all know, Abendon. His great grandchildren will sit somewhere today and say, my great grandfather did it. What will your children tell of you? What will your own great grand and great children talk about you? Please, people of Njikwa, I am appealing to you. Connect to us, even anonymously. You have a code to your name, and we will keep it till we get home. This is an appeal. So, thank you very much for listening. And Njikwa people, may una come o, all we for these 9 villages. May we comot, Bako, Bakwa, Basa, Ikwere, Ekwebo, Oshe, Ngwo, Konda. May all man comot abeg. May we try do something. Pikin dem for Widikum tribe pikin dem all over the counties in Momo, una come out, support each other, because if Ngi dey fine, e go support Njikwa, e go support Menemo. We go cross the other side, we support Widikum, we support Mogamo. You see, the connection is there. Even though we are not direct, some people will say, oh, we are not close. But look at the backside road that they have not yet dug for us. Because if you look at it, you pass through Jikwa, you pass Menka, you climb, you will get to the Widikum town, and the next place is Mogamo. So there is nobody that is not connected. We are all connected. And Momo is a blessed place. Please, Ambazonians, come out and support us. And support my Rachel for this draft. If you don't enjoy Horizon, remember me today. Oh, come donate for my Rachel and for Jikwa. Do your best for Momo County as a whole. We are one love, one people. So thank you, Director Padi.
Yes, thank you very much. Before we even bring the county coordinator back, now I get from my understanding, say Mass Sylvia don't already be connected now with her wonderful smile. Make her bring it one time. Mama,
Ade
Afazi,
saluto.
Ano,
Masaye. Oh,
Bati.
okay. Oh. Ade salut all man way there here today. Thank you, Paddy, for bringing me
Yeah.
here. I know be new face, but I be new face because me I know don't they do some things them. I really want to thank all man way there here today. Minimum message be very simple. We just want more to know. Say we call all Momo picking them, all meta picking them. I no get for tell when I details of what it way done they happen. For me tell when I know say they be key will picking them for gonna go live am for outside. They start smell before they live and make they go pick them. The key will picking from bomb market. They put you for cross, they crucify ye. They take will picking. microphone, BBB microphone, go from Bon Market, drive will put them from inside their store, take them, go for Market Square, tell them. Say if they see their brother away the pass, may they call them, say, na them this. They don't look really say we not get sense. We will call them, tell them, we say we all brother than they, may they can't shoot and kill them. Momo, Menamo na capital for Momo, and we try for whole with peace. We not be failures them. We be very proud people, we be very hardworking people. And we just want may all man for Menamo, for Meta, for Momo, they know say today now we day. We get for stand up. We get for represent ourselves. We get for take we land back. Now we land where God give we. We not take this land from any man. We not take this land for war. Now we birth right for Momo and we get for fight for present that land. We don't want to move picking the one come after we. The one go back for compound. So stranger come out house. Ask you for your papa house. Say you be who? Because they don't take your land. No, we must keep with land for ourselves and make sure say anything we do them faithfully. So today I recall all men of picking them. The one where they here, where they there for diaspora. Muna come out, can't support this draft today. Today a lot of us plenty of when I get money. No sugar on top of your hand when your money no give them today. Because that money where you not give them today, sometimes you will pay double or 3 times, 100 times if we no finish there with independence. And for power them for country, when I call, when I picking them, tell them, they may they follow this draft, may they not hide for back. Place not there for hide. Oh. If you hide here, you go to hide here forever. We no one remain permanent refugee them for different people in their country. We must fight. Go for our own country where God give we. And I go talk small for country talk. Make people they hear me. The one where they know they hear. Mo bo born and on a bongo. Mo ya gana ne to chonga yani. Nimbanga momo. Nga mena mo nga mita. Tibritum. Abo chere gana yambambo ni. Ba ya bono nor nyet. Amu gama me war minta ogante gama waka we to chembu mumara de kati ya gama to ko tong be bongo tong be bon tong be muso bar mi jimba jo yira chong to chong ye ni te bu chwe amba baranga ambazonia amba baranga bazani na tumba wa amba baranga junu ga signim ba ye bon mita ba ye bona yene ba noranya gama gonga go be ye chimba kap ba cha bonga bam ban mi jim tu war mo achu ben jim ami ye asung wengo ami ye asung wengo ka bom ozo koribo bani ayaminga mo ayamieno mo it wasn't the first I come wanted to be coming on you. Call Gamba Burberry on a Gamba Babon Bena where one on a Timu Gaman and Gamma Gaman Gamma Borabot Zununga chu bombonin. Bubu Koko and then chum. Titter of Guangam Babon, cham, Zugununga, between Bonbonia Yimba, Buchum, Formbong, I am Babon, I am by Jumara, I'm a Jubon Akur, Abri Chas, Mr. Jure one, which you know go no on as a carbon. So my bu born na anan bon mi tam jim bon momo but just a chong but just ben tong mi jim but ye weary to nora ben nora no na but so chuba to when banya chuba and no never queenie about you a car one go kai and a boy you were mobile too many with as one year and will pay better for a car but so will wait away. Cabri chair one man and one pay. So chung and I walk or do ka eti no na fa awe ni bomba beri yera na wani ba si pick off aba so wera wa to chiban bora ka na anga ba bon mo bu bon anan ba yem ba ni ma bongo a bora ba beri jungwe ko chimbi e ka wen ba bi chin na ra chongwe ko abu zinga no chi wen ba che ba yeo ba yera chong ya niezo na miaka. Thank you, Paddy.
Miyaka, Mama. So I want to just thank you all standing by and watching. Before we go back to the coordinator of the county to give to us his last remarks so that we can release him to go coordinate official issues on the Zoom link. I want to thank um, uh, all Momoans who have been helping ABC Amber TV, particularly from the background. You saw the undaunted ladies are dressed so beautiful today. It's a daughter, most probably from Momo, that made that possible. Kemi Ashu actually dress the girls today. Thank you very much. Most often we have the board, the board members actually dressing them up. So I want to say a very, very big thank you to Momo County, particularly for enhancing ABC Amber TV. We have a lot of them as club members and even board members. Thank you very much. So I will be ushering in the coordinator for Momo County with this song from a Meta boy. He calls himself BJ Zama, and the title of his song is Wana Meta. Wana Meta. For people who understand means say Meta. Okay. So stay tuned.
Akuru bunga kurutu bongo afasa Bayir no bokanga. This is dedicated to all the Meta people. I walk back and more you want Meta. I carry chinny jigga jigga bang sang a fee. I carry chinny querky ungama bang. I walk with a on the key wall. One part on to jigga. Working on no to no. One part on to jigga. Working on no to no. Take a you walk, take a bum, take you walk, one up, but you one up, Jigga bang sang feet, jigga gonna try to swing your feet. Jigga bang sang feet, jigga now try to swing your feet. Can no more you one murder, eh. I'm can no more you one murder, eh. I can no more you one murder, eh. I can no more you one murder, eh. Ben me touch me bobo, ben me touch me bina, bebina. Ben me touch me querky wo, ben me touch me you me finger. See the water yeah, see the water yeah, see the water yeah, see the water yeah. I got a chuba one in a no more. No more. The little chuba one in a bara. You one up, but you one. But you one but you one. Jigga bang sang feet, jigga gonna try to swing your feet. Jigga bang sang feet, jigga nanga try to swing your feet. But you know why you one murder, eh. But you know why you wanna murder, eh. But you know why you one murder, eh. But you know why you one murder, eh. Mukum ya BJ Zama, mukum ya BJ Zama, mukum ya BJ Zama. Much out of one more. Much out of Bemetajum, Gakabazi, Angie. Okay.
Wana Meta, he calls himself BJ Zama, and he was just making all the Meta boys and girls happy this evening. Mr. Coordinator, you're welcome back. I believe you have a final statement to make so that you go to the Zoom to do business.
Comrade Paddy, just from looking at and listening to Mr. BJ Zama there, it encapsulates and tells a story about Ambazonia.
Yeah.
One thing that a lot of people might not have paid keen attention to is how phenomenally and abundantly talented Ambazonians are. This is a nation that is waiting to be the pride of Africa. This is a nation that is waiting to sit at its rightful place and contribute to the democratic world and contribute to global culture and contribute to science and technology. Whether you come from Manyu or from Lebialem, or you come from Kotunja or from Momo, whether you come from Mezam, across the whole Amazonia, it seems as if people in this nation are blessed with so much talent in diverse fields. We are waiting to see the inventors unfold. And so that is why it is very
I'm not
important for
interrupting
us.
you, Chairman. I'm not interrupting you. Just to add, so that you can have your floor. We are the same people they call Lebaminda. Actually, when a Bulu calls you Lebaminda, it's not describing the people of Baminda. It's just saying that tu es fool. That means you're a fool. The Anglo fools. We grew up and we were told that English language is an inferior to French. Those who grew up in Cameroon, like me, we were told that our cultures are inferior. We were told that our music and everything is, in fact, we learned how to dance Asiko, Bikutsi, and Makosa as the prime dance music in Cameroon. I could even sing a Bikutsi of the Zanzibars at the time, Rantamplang. Can you imagine? And I didn't even know my vernacular traditional song. That is what Dr. Mungwa calls the cultural genocide that started since 1961. Go right ahead, sir.
Yes, very true. And just to expand a little bit on what you're saying, this cultural genocide did not just start in 1961. You see, when Africa was partitioned, and then we came to the First World War, and Germany lost, and then the German Cameroon was partitioned, and the British Cameroon was assigned to England as a protector or a guardian. One thing that helped keep our culture down is that we were kept down by the British, but then governed from Nigeria. So we did not even receive the rightful benefits, if there were any, of colonialism. And so the whole southern Cameroon has been held down. And then coming down to this aberration of an annexation from French Cameroon. We grew up seeing our parents act like paupers just to get what was due to themselves. We grew up seeing our mothers and our fathers study and get into professions, but then have to go down to Yaoundé and be begging for their salaries. We grew up being treated not even as second class citizens. We as people who were so dispensable, and thank God we've reason to say this has to stop. We have to gain what is rightfully ours. And so if you're tuning into this Momo draft today, reach real deep down into your pocket. For when you draft and you contribute, it's like you have a letter and you have put a postage stamp on that letter, and because of that postage stamp, that letter is going to get to its destination. Your draft, your contribution is your seed of faith to ensure that Ambazonia will finally regain its sovereignty. So we thank you, people from our county, from all the corners, Ambazonians from all the 13 counties, from all the 61 LGAs. We are counting on you to stand up and support Momo. And I'm very confident that at the end of today, we will have a very triumphant draft. Thank you, Paddy.
Yes, thank you very much. Before I get into further this discussion with, I see Brother Clement has changed and he's now formally dressed. But for just coming on TV on the pre-draft, first of all, without properly dressing, I have already informed Ma Irene, and so maybe your fine will be split into two. I know Ochiba wants to call in to also make a contribution. And I hope to see if I can bring in Professor Tebo and Pastor Victor back to round off as we head on. But then, this is the last thing I want you to talk on, and really briefly. there is no doubt, like you said, one of the heroes or most of the heroes from Amazonia, like Avomba, Commando, Biabia, these were all sons from Momo. In fact, the first female soldier we saw with a gun, I know, was from Momo. And this is a county that has faced fierce attacks from within and from without. I don't want to talk about the man in Norway. It's going to distract the energy of tonight. But we know what is happening. And I know the challenge that is before you. What is the confidence based on your faith, the audacity of your administration, and your faith in God, and what you've been able to mobilize to coordinate, bringing all of these top minds? Like I would just name a few. You have Madame Iringwa, Professor Bridget Table, the House Speaker. These are all people that are under you for leadership. You have Marashia Ita Tima. You know all of them, Nelson Ochiba, and they are all individuals. These are strong personalities. Anybody looking at you now should say you are a great leader because you have all of them well coordinated. You have Honorable Ambrose Itenche, who is a very important figure in this struggle and a vital member in the IHR. Talk to us. We want that magic word. That magic word that, first of all, helps to coordinate them and bring that unity that is needed for tonight. And that magic word that Ambazonians want to hear.
Comrade Paddy, before I even go into that, let me commend a very powerful a lady who just spoke before I spoke. Chairwoman Ma Sylvia Nanji. I mean, she is such a powerful figure, a very perceptive leader, a well-rounded leader that I'm very confident that she's going to do even greater things for the county and greater things for Ambazonia. And when you talk about these very prominent personalities, Ma Rachel, the Speaker of the House, Professor Tebo, just so many of them from the county. Not just them, a lot of powerful men as well. Then you get to, and these are fierce fighters in their own dispensation. You get to realize that you are in a county where people fight with sharp elbows. And in leadership, you have to know when to be in the mix and when not to be in the mix. You have to know when to lead from in front and sometimes when to lead from behind or from the middle. A wisdom that we get from somebody like Nelson Mandela is that he was a leader, but he knew when to come help shepherd the people, and he knew when to
Nelson
step out.
Mandela, Nelson Ochiba.
Correct. You see the Nelsons there. Some powerful Colorales there. So Nelson Mandela came. He knew when to place a soft touch, molding South Africa, having the Freedom Charter, and then he knew when to step aside. So this county again is a county that I'll tell you that we've been brainstorming for about a year now on how to build the forces in the county. Rest assured that there's a plan that is subterranean. You'll be seeing that come to the fore, and you should be very assured that Momo is going to rise to the fore of confronting the enemy that has subjugated us for over 60 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have to release you now before the Nijo really frowns. Frowns. You have to go back to the Zoom and focus. You have been amazing this evening. Amazonians love listening to you. I hope you will clear your schedule and always create time to come and break down with Barrister Tim Beseha on the topical issues we're having. And I also hope post draft on Monday, we're hoping to have you. I'm officially inviting you now. We're hoping to have you to come as we jubilate the thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars that Amazonians would have put together to transition back and to get the other officials. I'd like us to take this brief break from Chanceline Deyaso, and the title of this song, most of you already know, Mogamo. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
That is Chanceline Ndeyaso Moramo. Nini, you're welcome back. Now I can freely call you Nini because you're properly suited like a Nini. Congratulations and welcome back. Sometime last year, we're going to be rounding up in a few seconds because it is clear the president has just joined the Zoom meeting, so we're going to fast forward this. But I was looking, I think, on social media last year, and I saw a post. If you're not married for Momo, you're not married. I don't know who did that post, but from my vintage point of view, that could most probably be true. What do you think? Okay, we're gonna have Ochiba join us in this discussion now on phone to talk to Ambazonians. Then I'll bring the county officials that are here for us to conclude. And in the next 10 minutes, anytime resource mobilization or the county officials wants us to stop, we will not waste any minute to stop. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, Ochiba,
Thank you, Padilla.
can you hear me now?
I just want,
Just a moment. Let's
I
get
want
Ochiba.
to,
Just a moment.
okay.
Let's get Ochiba. Ochiba, you're live on TV. Do you want to make a contribution now?
Yes, Mr. Director, you hear me?
Very loud and clear.
Oh, yeah. So I want to thank God for the day of today, and I thank ABC team and all man wey don't come for day today for try for educate with people them. Yes, they dey talk say if you don't know play where you come out for day, you don't fit know place where you dey go. I want give this information for all Southern Cameroonians them. Say me they don't come begin to use some kind excuses when la Republic and they put up for outside it. They talk say people that they be divided, people them or they be so whatsoever. If you don't come out for your house, say you want to go for some place, you go for no place, you come out, I know which side you go exactly. If you go reach for three corner, what three road and they day for day, you know we sleep for the three corner, you will be able to determine which road where you go for day, for where will lead you to a destination. So all these things away some people they take the pretext, can't talk say, oh, division day, this one day, they don't want to contribute, they don't want to do so. It means that people them when they don't want to decide for sacrifice their faith and sacrifice their population for the Republic people them. The internal government will not say it be transparent. When they talk, when they raise money, life, we give accountability and everything in the be. We talk say we want to protect with people. We be against kidnapping. We be against anything we get for do with the Republic. May I ask the other people them, say what side they gonna go? Say they want reach for the place now for kill with fighters them, or they want reach for the place now for kidnap with all people them and all those things them. So like, today we will draft for Momo, we will draft for Momo, we will tell all Momo people them and all our soldiers them. Say we go for draft for every county and every LGA because we want free, we learn. Because we know we leave any portion, even at 1 meter. We tell we local chiefs them, everybody, say when I rise them, they'll not be trampled upon by La Republic. And we want fight so now for liberate you people, for restore our boundaries them, so that each chief they be able to what big ground for the boundary, for the village. In chop, don't say yes, now for year, my village in the common. So every person again for stand up now. Now the time is that public that they be united for can fight and kill us for take resources. So we too will go for be united. And also some people that they be distracted when they don't say life be too short, me they chop their life fine, when they enter their belly and their own. No. When you it matter I say if you want grandpapa them, they be do that conception, say when they enter their belly and be their own. Sometimes they not for born now, I don't know get territory and begin for go for it. Make everybody from all front everywhere on a capa will draft the enemy na la republic na why that the inter government function focus on the enemy when la republic and it talks about we protect with people we do everything possible. May we not forget about this unity when it comes to division and this the inter government knowing now they're talking about leadership or individuals. Now say the most people that for come together they make their resources them sorry, I want to friend. They manage it by themselves. They follow people. Now the same thing. So we come here today, we don't talk say this with the pray God and tell people when they don't pull hand for pocket. Say you when you still there for back day, may you pull hand because even if you take a 1 hour country, you never be for your land. You've been a stranger. They will can't drive you for this someday.
Thank you.
Plenty, we will go.
Yes, Ochiba, I not for over blame you for the small jere or the French you want make am because you to be victim of circumstance. Me and you would there for that generation where one start go school university, not the Bamenda, and na the reason why we support for draft. So you know over that one be scene where go take you go hell. Even though not seen for an activist like you for still the talk jere, but I understand say if we forgive you. Because even today we want people will draft for Momo will forgive you. So good night. Thank you very much. My brother, go right ahead.
Yes, Paddy, thank you so much for bringing me back to this podium. I want just seize this opportunity for let some of my brothers and sisters with the day here and some with the day home. I know some with the day here we didn't be in people they will help we for donate for this our cause. I dey beg them say because some of these are black legs, they will go give them back doctrine. Say President Sako government no be good. We now false information. So I dey just use this podium for beg them may they come donate, may they come support Momo because at this time We need everything, all hands on deck. We need for raise the money. We people didn't expect to go raise them. As I be take break, I be send them all the information where to donate. I know them, something are big with them for army for this country. So I don't contact them. Just tell them, say right now, move forget about everything. Make all hands be on deck. May we contribute for support Momo. We even in my own particular village, we know if we can how many they don't kill. Me self, they don't burn my own house, my village. So now for we for stand for rise up from all my picking them from all over, all my village people from all angle, all my friends them from Jikwa, where they did all over the world. Right now all hands on deck. I know say when I get money, we get money. May we put our hands them, dig our hands them deep into our pockets, support Momo, so that make Momo not fall anymore. Now all that we talk. Thank you, Paddy.
Yes, thank you very much, my brother. I will release you now so that you go for Zoom as an official. I go to coordinate the work. And right now, so I will bring back Sam still day online. Nini, and also you don't wait plenty. You want can talk for we that last talk. We hear the way chairman talk say now you don't do what way you do himself for make sure say me the draft today be a success. Ye never be able to do them. The way you frost it should say you know even they fine. So I will bring back Marashel. Okay. Marashel, I hope so you two know about disappear. Okay. Yeah, from every indication, it shows say most of the officials them, except from Pastor Victor, most of the officials they don't already they locked in. Okay, we'll get Pastor Victor where he just joined. We now, and we're going to bring it up small. Me start me the talk with you the talk, and then I'll try for connect the last person because we'll get to stop this program in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Pastor Victor, welcome.
Thank you, Director Paddy. It's a joy for me for joining you today. Then I'm picking with the talk today, so me I just go the flow. It's a joy for me for joining you today for welcome everybody from Momo into this draft. The joyful thing I get and then a revelation where God can give me about the name Momo. And originally the name Momo be derived from the river called River Momo. But I can't ask God why be say we always be those people the way they be very agile, forgive plenty, and for help when we see person where they need. And then God they tell me say more and more or more means he don't bless with more. So we together forgive more. So I want to challenge every Momo person out there, whether from Jikwa, from Gi, from Menemo, from Widikum, or from Mogamo, me will come out today, will draft like never before. We don't hear president, they don't talk this talk, say the draft, a target, the national draft target, it be dependent on Momo draft for make that mark. And that Momo draft, now today we go make me on the shake. So I trust my more and more giving people, more way that they give plenty, would they invite them for camp. I want to make everybody from Momo say, I don't hear plenty people that can talk that they look at with small differences we don't get in the past, the small weaknesses the way they don't be. I want to make say today not be that day again for they look that weaknesses. Today not the day for let go the bygones. May will come out, will draft and make Ambazonian proud. No county, not day we never make error them. No county, not day we never make small mistakes. On behalf of Momo people, I want to accept mistakes and I want to apologize. And I hear one talk where General Grandpa for Momo County talk today. The main general, the mighty, he talk today. He say, "Mo not forget say the Amazonian war. Any county get its season for shine. He say Momo it time be don't be. Time we war become a manfe, he can enter and a Momo. After manfe and Momo be carry war. I'll be fighting for that time correct. Before war, the ship go for Libya, the ship go for Boe. Momo be don't fight. And we not dey talk now say we don't only fight. We dey just talk now say if we season can go down and not mean say we don't stop for fight. He did mobilize a new generation of fighters where they will come up and they will be more deadly than the past one them. So I want to tell more people their hope up say even if we never hear action, we will not give up. There is a mobilization where they go on. There's a remnant. There's a remnant where they on. And when that remnant will be showcased, it will be showcased based on which we will do today for the drafting. So I want to beg me all Momo people them and the entire Amazonia come out today in one voice and support this Momo draft. And we know say Momo don't always be the one they shine for all other countries their draft. And I believe say today that day for Kambang Jangi small. So one beg me all countries they come out, they come back with Jangi today, and we will make Amazonia smile. The joy and the success of Momo draft today, now the joy and success of Amazonian draft and Amazonia. Thank you so much, Congress Party, for bringing me in, for make these few comments, for mobilize our people. And ya wore ji weduo tigo shami tavoko nani du makom nji weji weduo tigo shamo nji amajom kaka joma ngi kaka joma batibo kaka joma wilikum kaka joma medemo awo wore ji weduo tigo shami tise jange ni good bien zenene anabie ne me fokorokom so to be good being small time nji weji te bien ye kwa no chechom maka wona ne gaga abe mbadu ni abe chembige tiga ya onde wadiga te chong aboro bye.
Yeah, this is a nice one. The beautiful thing is, I heard when I was growing up, and I wanted to, and I was asking the question, but why is it that in Momo, particularly the Momoans as a whole, in Batibo, and I'm like, why do they like? And I was told that, particularly in Mogamo, is because their houses were family, they were living in families and in different hills. So that was an easy way for them to greet each other. And then even while they're in the farm, you know that the Momo really cannot be there's no plantation in the entire Momo that can be compared to the rich plantations at the foot of Mount Fako. We reported that earlier on. But you know the contribution that Momo gives in Fuchu and in palm oil is enormous. And when you hear oil from Momo, you go to the markets in Bamenda, you want to buy oil, they're precisely telling you we want to know the oil that's coming from Bengui or the oil that is coming from Batibo because of the quality. And it tells you a little bit more about the people of Momo. So Momo draft has officially started. A lot of Ambazonians are already on the Zoom meeting. I'm asking those of you who are watching us, those of you who are still lingering, the draft will definitely be starting early enough. I'm still waiting on the queue from the county coordinators to tell me when to pause this program. But while we are waiting, I think it's important for us to continuously flame the nostalgia and dance for Momo County, which is what a lot of people are up for and they're waiting. So we'll get this musical break for Momo and we'll be back.
Nini ubina moto nini
In my honest opinion, this is a hit song for Momo. I think he should be among the best musicians from Momo County that I know, not just because of the beauty of his melody, the originality. Every time you want to listen to this musician, there is a lot. The nostalgia just keeps flowing in, and he makes the Moammans very proud of him for many things. I think we're going to be having Professor Tebo joining us in a few seconds to give some final statements, but let's still listen to him again.
bejumo ebe momo ibini guni ibinu zang ibinegi ibinuta ibinegere 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 abajibo ngafon akwanga zakre ye momo oumni anonago engongotenduine inyirike mwanginye katemetere kwakutro ayakati wa wa wa
Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 squirrel meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort? While our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Amazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop.
The World Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 squirrel meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort while our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Amazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough. So let's draft, draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop.
The Amber War Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we drop. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort? While our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Amazonia down as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and
Yeah, fellow Amazonians, the draft has started. We are switching on the Zoom. I'd like you to connect. I think I will start the stream on the Zoom right away.
Everyone to Momo Draft. I am privileged to be the moderator today with our able chairman of Ngi. And I'm going to call up my sister, Ma Kebo Bridget, into this moderating task so she can assist us. Ma Bridget, thank you. You and I had that conversation. Chairman Buta, thank you. I think you need to welcome the people before I take over. Thank you. Is Chairman Buta around? Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Moderator.
Your picture, Chairman, your picture.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Moderator, and our able chairlady of the interim house. Welcome to everyone to the Momo Draft Award. We're very sorry that we're starting kind of late, and I think everything should be okay. We want to welcome everybody to Momo, the heartbeat of Ambazonia. Have a pleasant evening with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, thank you. Rightly so, Momo is the heartbeat of Amazonia. We are right smack in the center where the heart is, and so that's the heart of Ambazonia. Welcome, everybody. Mabri, do you have a word to welcome the people and usher them in? I know Amber One is already here, but we will have the time for all the formal greetings. We're going to do them. Mabri, say a word or two and then we move on. Does she have co-host privileges? I saw her just join a few minutes ago.
Mama, maybe she left and she's coming back. Let's see. Can't see her.
Okay. All right. With that said, I think we can move on. Fellow Ambazonians, you are the reason we are here today. You are the reason our president, Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako, is here today. You are the reason why the resource mobilization team and the National Treasury and everybody is here today. You are coming. We thank you for coming to honor Momo, not only to honor Momo, but to support Momo and to move Momo forward so that we all together can get to Boya and no county left behind. So, welcome to the draft of 2022. The stop is at Momo, and we declare it open for this day, and therefore we will start with a word of prayer. And let me grab who is going to be our prayer person today. Nimbuta announced that for us.
Yeah, the opening prayer will be done by Pastor Manfred.
I hope he has the co-host privileges already so he can unmute himself. Thank you.
Unmute yourself, Pastor Manfred.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. I hope you are hearing me.
Very well. You're clear.
Very well. Oh, okay, thank you. Before I pray, I want to share a word of scripture that has been resonating in my spirit for some time now, and it's taken from Esther chapter 4. Esther chapter 4, verses 13 to 14. I read, Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, Think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. 14. For thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place, but thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? My little exhortation to Amazonian this moment is on that keynote for such a time as this. God walked in dispensations, he walked in time, and he is out of time, meaning before he executes any agenda, he has known it from the very beginning to the end. He is not taken aback by any event in the whole universe. He is the master planner. He is the invisible hand in all agenda. God of Ambazonia, who is the watchman of the nation, has brought you and I here today for this singular reason. The text is talking about a conversation between Mordecai, the uncle to Esther. These were refugees who were in Babylon. And at this time, the Jews were under intense persecution from a diabolic leader who rose up called Haman. And Esther, during that period of time, had succeeded to become the queen to the king of Babylon. And while the Jews were about to be annihilated by their enemy, Esther was more or less like complacent. She forgot the main reason why God took her to that place at that time. And I want to bring this to the attention of my brothers and sisters in Ambazonia. God knew why he took you from La Republic to wherever you are in the diaspora. God knew why we were so marginalized and we were so refused even the basics of rights that a good chunk of us had to flee that land to the diaspora. And today, God was doing all that because he was planning for this moment where the diasporas are going to be the main life wire of the liberation of Ambazonia. I am speaking to somebody today who think that The liberation war of Amazonia doesn't concern him or her. I am telling you that it concerns you, for that is the reason why you are where you are today. That is the reason why you are doing that job. That is the reason why you are in that position for the liberation of Amazonia. This is the vision we have in this generation, where if we fail in it, we have failed in everything. I am talking to you, when the history books of Amazonia shall be read, what will be read of you? That you were an enabler, that you were a kidnapper, you were a killer, or you were a valiant fighter. My brothers and sisters, I want you today in this draft to draft your lives like the people at the home front have drafted their lives. $1,000 is the minimum. You could reconcile with your wife or your partner and change the amount. If you are hearing at the sound of my voice now, $1,000 is not the maximum, it is the minimum. You can drive 10,000, you can drive $1 million. We need this money. The reason why God has brought you and I in this age, in this time, is because He has placed the best big pocket, the best minds, and the best of the best, whom He has prepared before the foundations of the earth for the liberation of Amazonia. Because every coach always keep in the relay race the best athletes at the end, so that they will quickly run through the finish line. And I believe we are the best of that relay race in the revolution quest of Amazonia. God preserved your life. He preserved my life. He gave you a job. He gave me a job just for this. And if you fail in this, you have failed in all. I guarantee you. History is recording. History will be read tomorrow. What will be read of you? Mordecai told the niece that if you hold your peace, deliverance will come from somewhere else, and you and your household will be the one to be disgraced. You will be the one to be destroyed. Don't think the little crumbs you are enjoying in the king's palace is enough for you to ignore the sufferings of the people. Don't think the little crumbs you are enjoying abroad, or the comfort,
Recording in progress.
the crumbs you are enjoying at the comfort of the enemy is enough for you to ignore the sufferings of the people. The people in the home front are counting on you. They are counting on me to liberate them. And my brothers and sisters, we are up to that task. Let the draft of today send a resounding warning to the corridors of power in Yaoundé that Amazonia have reason to fall no more. That Amazonia is a reality. There is no gainsaying about that. God has said it, and it shall be done. Shall we pray? Father, we thank you for this time. We thank you for the nation Amazonia, which you created before the foundations of the earth in your perfect will. We thank you for revealing it even in this time and dispensation, and making us to be the actors of the liberation quest. Thank you for the interim government under the leadership of Dr. Sawe Ekomesako. Thank you for all those who are working on all governmental spheres of Amazonia. Thank you for our beloved county, Momo, especially our coordinator, Barrister Ghana, and his assistants. Thank you, Abba Father, for the genuine restoration fighters. Thank you for the revolutionaries, for all those who sleep with Amazonia at heart, who get up with Amazonia at heart, who go to work with Amazonia at heart. Everything they do, they think of Amazonia. We thank you for such revolutionaries. We say, Father, let the draft of today not just be an ordinary pledge, but Lord, you will give us the heart to redeem. We bless you, Lord. We thank you. We say, take the preeminence, take the leadership. From now to the end of this day, we say, Father, let your will be done. We give you praise. In Jesus' mighty name we pray, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Pastor Manfred, for that. Thank you. And yes, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was kicked out and I came back in. I didn't have unmute privilege. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, so we continuing with the program?
Yes, we should. Go ahead. I think
Okay.
it's a minute of silence.
A minute of silence, please, Ma Christina. Christina, are you there?
I don't know if she has co-host privilege. Sometimes we need to send this list in the back.
Mama, let's make them raise their hands so we can identify them
Yeah, Ma
easily.
Christina, go ahead. Raise up your hand so we can give you co-host.
So we can see. We
Ma'am.
can see you.
We can see you.
She is
Thank you.
co-host.
Ma Christina Asa from Menemo.
I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Okay,
there.
Ma, unmute. This unmuting is such a problem, even with co-hosts. Okay, Mama, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Mr. Eric Ate, the Honorable Speaker of the Interim House of Representatives, Dr. Winnie Lobati, distinguished dignitaries of Ambazonia, including our guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before observing a minute of silence for our departed heroes, let us take a few minutes to remind the Almighty God to whom our country has been dedicated of His word. O Lord our God, we honor you and adore you for your word in Psalms 46, verse 9 and 10. That says, you make wars to cease unto the end of the earth. You break the bows and cut the spear in sunder. You burn the chariot in the fire. You send out your order. Be still and know that I am God. And you continue to say, I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. As your word comes out today, Lord, let it perform the purpose for which it has come. In Genesis 4, verse 10, the Bible says, the voice of Abel cried to you, and you spoke to Cain, his murderer. Our plea today, Lord, is this. If Ambazonian voices of crying have not reached you, we pray the voices of the blood of the people who have been slaughtered all through the territory be loud enough to provoke you, turn to our enemies for revenge against their blood. A minute of silence, please. Thank you, mighty God, for hearing us, for we have prayed in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you,
Thank
Mama. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. How profound.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to follow with our schedule. We want to prepare ourselves for the national anthem. And so right hand over your heart of sight. We're calling on Honorable Asabi to do the honors, sing our national anthem.
Thank you very much. And let us be in the mood of attention. And let's go. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son, our Savior, who granted us the freedom, allegiance to the heroes who bought the land with their blood. Glory to glory, we rise never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom. You shall live in plenty, meeting our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think this county is a very rich county with so many able, talented people, just like it is in every county in Amazonia.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we want to really welcome everyone again. We don't take your presence here lightly. We appreciate you spending your afternoon, your evening, and early morning with us. And we do not take you for granted. That's why we are really appreciative of you being here. Therefore, at this moment, we want to take a time to let our vice coordinator of the county usher in and bring in the county coordinator, and he will have a whole segment where he has to introduce all his chairs of all the LGAs and move on prior to his welcome speech. Thank you. Miss
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 Ambuta.
Ambuta.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. And once again, thank you to everybody. I have the privilege to bring in the coordinator for Momo County, Barrister Ghana. Barrister, you're welcome.
Thank you, Chairman and Vice Coordinator, Mr. Samuel Mbuta. It's with great humility that I step forth to introduce the chairs of the county. Just like has been remarked that Ambazonia is replete, that Ambazonia is full of many talented people or persons. So is it reflected in the leadership within the county. I want to acknowledge all the leaders who are here on this forum. I want to acknowledge all those who have worked so hard to bring this draft day possible. And I want to highlight how blessed the county is to have such leaders. Beginning with the great LG of Menemo, I want to introduce Ma Sylvia Nanji. Ma Sylvia, if you're on, we just want you to just extend greetings. I know how Menemo is profoundly blessed to have you as the LGA chair. So, Ma Sylvia, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. Greetings, everybody.
Please,
Mr.
Mama, we cannot
President.
see you, Mama.
Oh, okay. You want to see me? Let me see
Yes,
who I
ma'am.
am. Let me look for myself.
Thank you, Mama.
I
Just find
see
your
you.
camera.
I see you there. Let me
Mama.
pin.
Yes,
Let me
please,
pin you.
please. Let me see
Okay.
my big sister.
Let me find me. Okay.
Thank you, Mama.
Find
Am
your
I
camera.
okay?
Let me
Thank
pin
you.
you.
There we go.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, our able coordinator, all the duly respected hierarchy in Amazonia. I greet you. I come
Thank you.
today humbly just to thank everybody that is here. That we are grateful in Momo that you came to support us. We hope that this is going to be one of the best drafts of the year in Amazonia. And I will say just something to my people. Bongo ma bena wani ba ye. Ba mu tukuru tonga ba wa kare mu mara ma zo ga mbi ye. Timbala sanga wan mo onjimo ba ye ba nujim. Thank you all so much for coming, and let's have a wonderful draft. Thank you.
In Abbenewe, Mama.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma Sylvia. You are a woman of great mettle, and I think Ambazonia will find out more about you as the days, months, and years unfold. Next, I think he's already spoken, but he's the backbone of the leadership of our county. Mr. Mbuta Samuel is somebody who is very calm, very collected, steps in even when he's not requested to. When he sees a gap, he fills it, which is the mark of great leadership. He's been very pivotal for the stability of the county against the diversions and the distractions that we've had over the past 18 months. It is my humility again to introduce him, the chairman of the LGA, Mr. Mbuta Samuel. So I know you've spoken, but we will still be humbled for you to say a word.
Thank you, coordinator. I'm overwhelmed with the acknowledgement. I want to welcome everybody again, our guests, those who are known Ambazonians who are with us today. We want to acknowledge your presence with us, and to all the Ambazonians who have taken this opportunity to come and support Momo County. We all know what Momo County stands for when it comes to our revolution. So I will not take much of your time. I want to thank you for your presence with us. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Mbuta. And again, we are very blessed and enormously humbled to have you with us. Next, I want to introduce a lady who is also a lady of substantial mettle. She is a voice of the struggle. You've seen her shows on ABC. She's also a woman of faith and a prayer warrior who I am very sure has helped with her faith, her prayer, her commitment, her rallying of other prayer warriors. Those collective efforts have helped to maintain the stewardship of the leadership of this struggle heading towards Boya. That lady is no other than Ma Rachel, who you have heard speak before. So, Ma Rachel, it's my humble pleasure and my honor to introduce you. Thank you. Ma Rachel, you're muted.
Shall unmute. Unmute.
Okay, the host blocked me, so I'm sorry. Yes, thank you, Mr. Coordinator, our Barrister Ghana. I want to greet everybody in the House, Mr. President, the Vice, the Judiciary, the Ethics, and our able interim House Speaker, and every other SOS in the House, every county and LGA leader in the House. I greet all Ambazonians present here today to come and say hello. I'll put my hand deep inside my pocket because of Una from Momo County. So I welcome everyone, and I really want to appreciate this day because today is the Momo Njangi Day, and I'm just so pleased to be here with all our wonderful backbones of Momo. I can't call all my sisters who are shining so bright, all my niece, all of them, from Jikwa to our coordinator. It's just so wonderful to have you here, Mr. President. I've seen your outfit, 21 God salute, and all of our fighters on home front. The Jikwa people greet you. And to all my viewers of the Horizon, I greet you today. I hope you are watching today. The women in the women's department, kudos to you guys. You are coming up tomorrow. It's a wonderful day. So let's just kickstart drafting for Momo and for our home front, our ARFs. They are all depending and believing in us. Please, let's not disappoint them. Thank you, and have a wonderful stay in Momo. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma Rachel. As you were speaking, I was listening to the compliments that were coming in. A lot of women remarking on how beautiful and how gorgeous you look. I wanted to compliment you on that also, but I didn't know if your significant other was in the background. I didn't want to walk away from this meeting with a black eye, so I'm glad somebody else said it. But you are just represent you are just you just represent the beauty that oozes and oscillates out of this county. Reason why so many men have found the apple of their eye and their companionship forever from this county of ours. So thank you for being within our midst, Mara Shad, and we thank you again for the great work that you do. Last but not least, is an LGA from where the springboard of this revolution started. So, Ambazonians, if we are closer to independence, if the world has been reminded of us being a people with a right to self-dispensation, if the world has been reminded affirmatively of our right to statehood, is because His Royal Highness von Goji Dinka stood up singularly to say, we are an independent people, we are not part of French Cameroon, and we will be free. From that county, we have a great leader also, somebody who, despite some distractions, is helping to put together and steer that county to where it truly belongs. Chairman Marco, if you're there, we would like for you to unmute and chime in.
Unless Marco is signing with a different name, I can't find Marco on here.
Okay. If Chairman Marco is not there, somebody who has worked very much side by side with Chairman Marco, substituted when needed. He's a true patriot of the county and a true hero of Amazonia. I know he's in here because he is always present. Mr. Manfred, if you're there, we would love for you to unmute and say a word.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Coordinator.
On camera, please.
We cannot see you.
I'm driving, no, I'm driving. We become a big compound. So beginning don't grow come out for big compound. So at least no compound, not to be empty. What I did. I want salute all man we don't come to this for support the Momo draft. It's been a historical event, an event to be taken down and the rest in the history books. I want to salute our president, where through his wisdom and guidance, we did wish I will did. I want to salute every person where they work with. So we don't come today. May this draft make a take way to wait we expected. May the amount, even CNN may read them, even BBC may read them. So these people, they don't mean business. If you never ever vex just that two women then way they kill her for the other day for market for doing nothing. If you never ever vex about the killings and the burnings and the rapes, everything, but make that instant resonate a holy hunger in you, but do something drastic so that we move the revolution forward. I salute when I plenty, and I'm glad to say today, nowadays, we Momo picking them, and we'll be happy say Ambazonia it will move forward because of the Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor. The camp behind you were $500 fine, not dress well.
Thank you very much, Pastor Manfred, and thank you very much for the role you play in maintaining leadership over the Widikum LGA. Your sacrifice, unscripted, always impromptu, is very, very much appreciated. So I would usher the coordination of this event back to our able speaker, Madam Speaker, Dr. Winnie Lobati, and Professor Bridget Tebo. So over to you.
My brief,
Thank
Chairman Buta, they don't tell we all fine story today. We don't hear, say they don't work all man. So we be blessed, forget when as leader. And we want to thank you all as our chair ladies and chair gentlemen of this wonderful county. And I extend the same thanks to every chairperson and coordinator in every LGA and in every county. When I know say I be mommy, I be big mommy, I'm not being away all any man. So I must salute all man and thank all man. So
we don't finish with the introductions. I didn't hear Ma Mildred. Who is the chair for minimum?
now my savior, you be slave.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Don't mind me. All right.
Okay, right now we get some very important person. You have heard from him, and I think he has a wonderful story about Momo that is going to continue to write the script of our history in the books of Amazonia about this county. And I'm sure he will tell us a wonderful story. Ma Bridget, can you introduce us, the able coordinator of our county, so he can tell the story about Momo like no other?
Okay.
And he's a wonderful historian too. Don't forget.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud and honored to be here today. I couldn't be more proud of our coordinator, none other than Barrister Ghana Valentine. We have heard him so many times on ABC. We have followed his speeches and seen how he's coordinated the county to mobilize all of us to be here today. It is my honor and pleasure to not only introduce him, but to sit here proudly and say, this is my little brother going places. I am so happy and delighted. And I know that he will give us that magnificent story that we want to hear. So please join me to welcome Barrister Ghana Valentine.
Thank you, Professor Bridget Table. The accolades really go to the leadership of the county. But just to highlight a little bit of the county that we come from. It's a county that can go either way. And depending on how it goes, Ambazonia goes. It's a county that is like an axis of Ambazonia. As Ma Rochelle spoke earlier, she mentioned somebody like Mr. Abendo, who was one of those who stood in the 60s and 70s, standing up for the rights of the Southern Cameroons, knowing that what was being dished to the Southern Cameroon was against its rightful place. But again, as the county can oscillate between various directions, we also know of people in the county, such as Honorable Estimuna, a very principled man, a very somewhat disciplined father, but a man also from our county whose personal ambitions led him on the wrong side of history. And so we come from a county, again, that despite the fact that we had somebody whose personal decisions and personal inclinations led us towards the wrong side of history, that also bears pride to somebody, like I mentioned earlier, Fongoji Dinka, who, despite the trappings of royalty, despite being one of the first prominent lawyers in Cameroon, despite being one of the first Ambazonian presidents of the French Cameroon Bar, decided to put his foot down and stand up to say, not now, not ever.
Yeah.
We will not be enslaved to anybody. Fellow Ambazonians, if you look at what is happening across Ambazonia, we've been at this struggle for 5 years, going 6, where we've been in armed conflict.
We did not receive any training to prosecute this revolution. I want to contrast it to what is happening in Ukraine. As we know, and as it is becoming manifestly clear to us, when Russia invaded Georgia in 2014 and took over the Crimea as well, Western forces or undercover forces being guided by the West got undercover into not just Ukraine, but the Soviet Socialist republics and started laying that groundwork, knowing that it was more likely than not that Russia was going to attempt to invade and take over the whole of Ukraine. And so when it started, when the conflict started, when Russia invaded, when we thought Russia was just 15 minutes from Kiev, there was already a rudimentary plan in place. Now I want to draw that corollary or that comparison to Ambazonia, where on September 22nd, 2017, our people rose up with peace plans, affirming our independence, affirming and restoring our right to sovereignty. And what did French Cameroon do? It sent helicopter gunships to start mowing our people down like chatter. From the profession that I come from, if you kill a person, it's called murder. Might be homicide, might be manslaughter, might be murder 1, murder 2, or murder 3. But if you kill a dog or a cat, there is no criminal charge, because for somebody losing their pet, a pet is regarded in law as chattel. We Ambazonians have been treated like chattel. We Ambazonians have been treated like dogs or cats that can be murdered without any repercussions. And so when this conflict started, when we realized that La Republique would go to any extent to spill our blood to try to maintain us as a colonized people, we have to come back to the county of Momo to see the valiant fighters that rose up to stand and defend our people, like General Ivo, aka Ivo Mba, like Bie, like fighters in Menemo, Njikwa, and Widikum. Speaking of a county with dedicated fighters ready to defend our people. But we also have to draw that contrast over the past 18 months, where we've had attempts to destabilize the interim government, attempts that have sought to unwrite the agreements and the constitutions that came out of the fourth conclave in Nigeria. And some of those key individuals who have attempted to do that have come from the county. Then I have to draw us back to about January or February of last year, when we held meetings working towards ASSC2 in Washington, D.C., in Maryland, where we sought to right the ship of our revolution, where some of us had doubts on where the leadership or how the leadership was going to pivot. But looking back in hindsight, we have to thank God for those destabilizers, those enablers have only been exposed. Now, present with us here are heroic individuals from Menemo, from Gi, from Jikwa, from Widikum. Just to highlight one individual who has been so pivotal, who comes from Momo. Now, if you want to talk about the genocide that has been committed about our people, if you want to talk about the documentation that has been done so that those murderers, those genocidal troops from French Cameroon do not go scot-free, you have to highlight people like Nimat Atugon, who have taken steps to document and create the Ambazonia Genocide Library to ensure that what our people are going through is not forgotten, and their perpetrators are held accountable. So I speak with pride, coming from a county, Momo, that always stands up to donate generously to all other counties, that has this litany of figures that stand each day, each week, each month to make sure that the leadership of this struggle continues steadfast. And so without saying too much, without taking so much time, because we would like the coordinators of this draft to have enough time to raise money, I just want to speak with honor and with pride and with thanks for being just one amongst several leaders of Momo that have put their foot down to ensure that the ship towards our independence, so that the ship towards regaining our sovereignty is not derailed. And again, I don't want to end without thanking our interim president, the president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Sako, who was the person who came to leadership and put his foot down and realized that without the armed struggle, we're just going to be a babbling people speaking in social media. So as we look towards drafting today to rebuild the forces in the county, I want you to remember what our president stands for and how every penny of your contribution is going to be so pivotal to ensure that those blazing guns from Momo that assure our freedom and the regaining of our independence once more sound heroically from the hills, the valleys, and everywhere along the county. So thank you very much for allowing me to chime in about the county, and I'll pass it back over to Mr. Samuel Mbuta, Professor Bridget, and of course, the Speaker of our interim house, Dr. Winifred Lobati. So thank you.
Thank you. What a historian. We always learn. You always remind us. You always bring us, and you always bring us back to our roots. Thank you very much, Mr. Coordinator, Barrister Ghana. Thank you for that eloquent picture that you've painted of our entire county. The good, the bad, the ugly. You did not hide any. You brought it out. And of course, it's a portrait. And that is the portrait of Momo in light of being a little piece of the puzzle in the entire Amazonia. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Coordinator. Thank you. And Ma Bridget, I just want to say thank you that you accepted to join me in this co-hosting today. There was a good reason for that. And I'm glad because there is somebody you know. Hey, Mr. Mbuta, I'm glad this is not girl power now. It is just Momo power. And if you know, many of you here are married to women from Momo, so that's Momo power. That's how we are powerful to attract you guys to come get wives from Momo. Of course, we also go get wives too from outside Ambrick. Okay, but they stay, thank God. Ma Bridget, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mbuta, for also helping us stir through the turbulent times that have happened with your calm personality as a vice coordinator in our struggle in our county. I thank you very much because you calm the turbulent waters when they are turbulent. Momo people, they're strong, they fight hard, and they also fix it hard. So he is one of the one that will calm down. Thank you.
Okay.
So we are moving on. And as we move on, Mr. Mbuta, I would like you to take over and introduce the next aspect of our agenda, which is very critical, and you will call upon the next person who is going to introduce the next speaker. Mr. Mbuta, it's your turn. Thank you. Please, may I advise if you have the ability to mute yourself because you have co-host privileges, please help us and minimize the noise.
Okay. So, Vice Coordinator.
Thank you, Mawini. Our next agenda item is a welcome word from the Vice President, who will then usher in the President. Thank you.
Oh.
Point of correction, please.
Are we not doing updates of count?
Of what?
LGA updates. If not,
LGA county updates. Are we skipping that?
I think we are running late. The LGA
We are far behind time. Please, let's get moving.
then we should have at least we should have the DOD and audios from home front, please.
That's an agenda item that will come on its own.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we're just moving straight to the VP.
Yep.
All right. Mr. VP.
Thank you all so very much. Can you please unpin yourselves on the screen so the people can see me?
Your camera is not on, sir. Okay.
Am I still pinned? I did not pin myself.
Okay, we can see you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Coordinator. Thank you for that elaborate history of our revolution. I would like most of all to speak about the present and to also make mention of what I see here today. I see a powerful Ambazonia in the sense that it has always been my wish that Ambazonia emerges as a country that elevates women. And Momo